Hey up everyone, we're back in woods again. It's been a few weeks since we were in there watching a feeder. Done a bit of crow shooting, done a bit of rat shooting. I thought it'd be perfect time to get back in woods. Grey squirrel's primary target, but as ever, there is other species that might cross my path. So we'll keep his eyes peeled and see what's on offer. We're here before first light. We've got set up. Beef who is S510 tactical. Big micro Alpex on top. Got a makeshift tripod. Sony HD camcorder. Beefy's going to take right shooting window. I'll take this one. We'll take it in turns this morning. Just about daybreak. We'll see what turns up. Our first light's broken. We heard a little cackling background. We'd all been talking about that we might see a few magpies. I thought it'd be later on in the year when we'd see one, but seems like everything's hungry this year. Everything's starting a bit early. Here's Beefy. This is footage using IC micro scope. He's trying to track this magpie. Just readjusting himself there. Now the tricky customers, even for an experienced shooter, he's trying to get lined up. And he takes his shot. Unfortunately, just misjudged it slightly. He's aimed a little bit low and pellet's gone straight under the magpie. Luckily, I was mirroring his shooting. Magpie flew just to the right into Woodland edge and I managed to finish it off for him. It's not unusual to see old COVID family. Rooks, crows, jays, magpies, they all visit feeders through winter months when times get hard. There's Beefy again. Let's see if we can make up for that first miss earlier on. So what I'm doing here, I'm just whispering to Beefy. I've cut sound out because you can't quite hear me talking and I thought I'd do voiceover instead, but I'm explaining to him there's no need to rush. Wait for the squirrel to get into a feeding pattern. You know, if a squirrel comes onto the feeder, you've generally got 3 or 4 minutes. Not always. Sometimes they come, grab a piece of food and off they go. In general terms you have. You might as well wait, take your time. You're lucky for it to sit up, prevent you with a shot like that. Beefy's relatively new to shooting. I've sort of took him under my wing. I'm putting through a bit of mentorship. I'm explaining don't rush. Pick your aim point. I've been talking it through him all morning, saying once you've took his shot, keep looking through his scope. I'm advising him at this point, aim above its right eye, or its right eye towards squirrel's left eye, just above eyebrow. And there you go. Nice shot, nice clean kill. As you all know, shooting's a waiting game. Spend many hours just staring at, watching what's going on. And this is the view I've got this morning. Got quite a wide field of view. We can see squirrels coming in, but on this particular morning, and I've noticed this over the last few weeks, they seem to be coming from left. So they don't give you much time to prepare. Before you know it, you've got one up feeder. So I decided to take a turn. It's a grey squirrel. It knows something not right. And it's freezing. If it stays there, I'm going to take my shot. I'm pleased with that. Squirrel on deck. And it's footage from ATM 4K. Initial footage were from camcorder. Quick scan at ground. And not even a twitch out of this one. Did twitch a couple of times, as usual. A lovely shot. And here it is in slow motion. So far, that's a squirrel each. May beef it. Time to sit back, have a little natter, keeping his voices down, keeping his movement down, keeping his noise down. It's not unusual, all in woods. See all types of critters. Woodpeckers if you're lucky. I went too much longer. You could see a body on floor. You could hear a squirrel chattering in tree. You could just look to the top left hand screen where that little flame is. It's just to the left of that. We've tracked this squirrel for a long time. But another youngster, I think one of its brothers or sisters were laying on deck. So they were reluctant to come to feed her. We remained patient, hoping to come to feed her, but eventually it buggered off. I think primary reason it won't come to feed her is because there were some bodies on woodland floor. So it's beefy to go out and do a little pickup. So that's what he's doing right now. I explained to him when he went out, don't touch feeder with your bare hands. You know, squirrels can pick up your scent, makes them a bit jittery when they're on there. Keep your footfalls light. Don't disturb area. Just go to areas where quarry drops, pick them up, get back in hide. And then usually, I'd say 15-20 minutes, woodland will resettle. And that's when all critters start to move and feel comfortable again. Ideally, you don't want to be doing a pickup. If you notice that squirrels are jittery, then get yourself out of here. And it'll benefit you in the long run. So we both just sat back, scanning tree tops, scanning woodland floor, looking for movement. But half the time, you'll hear things before they arrive. And I'd heard something. Someone walked from behind hide, headed towards feeder. Instructed Beefy to get ready. Luckily we're a cock pheasant. A lovely shot to be fair. As I said earlier, this is it in slow motion. If you watch carefully, you'll see pellet flying. Lovely shot. I'm really impressed with this IC microscope. Lovely clarity on footage. Beefy's happy. He's got a nice little setup. I think he's enjoying his shooting. It's not going bad so far. A few squirrels on deck. Bonus magpie, beefy too. Bit windy, bit drizzly. But squirrels are still interested. What I'm seeing like last time, there's a lot of youngsters, which bodes well for later in here. Youngsters are coming now, adults will follow later. It's roughly 20 minutes to half an hour later. I spotted some movement to right at feeder, to right at hide. A grey squirrel on woodland floor. I heard a branch snap, so I knew there was something about. has done opposite to what other squirrels have done. It's come from right. It shot up a tree. Now luckily, so we've got more shooting windows. I could poke rifle through centre window where camcorder were. Get a nice clear shot. Squirrel crashed at Woodland floor. A little bit of thrashing about. That inhibition and that movement sent it in direction at feeder. And it weren't long before it come to rest. Another youngster. A youngster from beginning of the year though, so they're full grown, but they haven't quite got that full body. It's another one hit bag. I enjoyed time in Hyde, having some company with people. Adds a different dimension to shooting morning. Hopefully Beefy's taking in what I'm learning him. And overall, if he does, which I'm sure he will make him a better shooter in long term. Here's one of my favourite birds. Sparrowhawk. True hunter at UK Woodland. Field margins. Hedgerows. Absolutely fascinating bird. Piercing yellow eyes. And a total apex hunter. They'll take squirrels, they'll take wood pigeons. Take anything to get their hands on really. What an awesome sight, what an awesome creature. So I've got Beef with me today. Using S510 Tactical. Big micro, Alpex on top. Perfect combination. Air arms is bomb proof. Big micro seems to be everyone's go-to scope at the moment. What I've seen in it, it's top class. Well, here's a second bite at cherry for Beefy. We had that cackle again. I think that first magpie was shot. I think this is his mate coming to investigate, wondering where it is. And it comes walking in front right. Looks like it's got a bit of a damaged wing. You see it's dropping down a little bit. And it's definitely a different magpie. The proof will be put in at the end of the video. Looks like it's going to feeder. It changes its mind. I'm filming it on camcorder. Beefy's still getting used to the scope. Occasionally he's been pressing record and it's not been recorded when he wanted it to. Even shut down unit on one occasion, but that's what happens when you're getting used to new kit. You do all these things. I flew into that tree and I thought we'd missed the opportunity because it was behind that big thick set branch. But it does move a little bit further up into the tree. When it does, presents a shot for Beefy. It's at about 30 yards, magpie. Feeder's at about 20. There it is, just moved into the centre of the tree. That's a lovely shot. Dropped it to the base of the tree. Redeemed myself for that first miss. I've zoomed it in a little bit for you here, just to try and get a better picture. Beef is back behind trigger. I see another grey squirrel. A little bit of mucking about. Initially don't want to come to the feeder. Not sure if he's still a squirrel on floor at this point. Eventually it comes on. I'm filming with camcorder again. Zoom in a little bit and you can see it's only a youngster. That's a nice shot. Here's in slow motion. Lovely shot. Dead before it hit ground. Well, that short wrap session up, we were expecting heavy rain, so we decided to pack up because we've got a few little bits to do. We didn't fancy getting soaked wet through. It was a good session. Enjoyed company again, like I said earlier. I'm sure there's going to be more from me and Beefer. He's going to accompany me when he can, when his work pattern allows. Won't be every week. Occasionally, I do like that bit of time on my own. But he'll be out with me when he can, when shift pattern suits. So we decided to get packed up, get a little bit of insight into Hyde. Plenty of room for 2 people. Obviously take quite a bit of kit with you, especially when you're recording. Just take bulldog clips off front with a sort of roll tarp up and just gives a clear shooting window. Pull it back down a little bit, just keep somewhat weather out. It's located well this side anyway, it's inside an holly bush. So it's got a bit of natural protection anyway. Before I go, I just want to get that feeder filled back up. I filled it up initially, first time we did all renovation work on it on 2nd of October. So it's been 4 weeks. I've sped it up a little bit, otherwise footage would be too long, but just showing Beefy how much feeds in. Initially when I shot it a couple of weeks ago, there were only 2 inch had gone. But you see a little bit later on in the video that in this last 2 weeks, feeder levels dropped by about 12 inch. There were probably about 3 or 4 inch worth of food left in bottom. So a perfect time to get filled back up. Takes about 3/4, it's a 20 kg sack. So on this occasion it took 3/4 of the sack really. Usually from empty it's 20 kgs. It's important you keep your feeders topped up, don't let them run dry. If you let your feeders run dry, then squirrels are going to start chewing your feeders. As long as there's food in them, they don't necessarily want to chew it. Just get a quick look inside feeding now. This is before I filled it. You can see it was right up to just where that red paint is. It only dropped that much 2 weeks ago. The squirrels have been absolutely hammering it, which bodes well. It's exciting to think that much food's gone in 2 weeks. So it tells me there's plenty of squirrels in this population, in this wood, and plenty more sessions to come. As ever, thanks for watching. We'll see you next one.